Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Muinga, for this last part. We greet you. Thank you just for spending time with us. You can see today's topic is English taught in the Drc'S schools, the case of Kinshasa'S. And I'm not alone in this place. As you can see, we have our girls to whom I greet. Hello.
Hello, Mr.
How are you?
Yeah, so pretty good. What
Yes,
about you?
that's fine too. Just welcome to English with Paul now.
Pleasure is mine.
Yes, thank you. As you can see, I'm going to ask you to speak up, okay, for our listeners, okay, sorry, for our viewers, okay. With Mr. that I'm going to ask again the question, can you tell to our viewers your name and nationality? Why not your job?
Thank you. First of all, I'm going to greet many people who are following us right now. I respond by Alidor Likumbi's name, and I'm a Congolese by birth, and right now I'm a student. I'm studying at University of Kinshasa, surely in Faculty of Art and Human Sciences. I'm studying English and Business Computing.
Okay, right, but you are a student. Are you also a teacher, an English teacher?
Yes, yes, I am. I'm a teacher right now. I'm teaching English in some schools just around Lemba Township.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alidor Likombe. Okay, yes, Mr. Alidor, with you, we are talking about English taught in the Drc'S schools, case of Kinshasa. So, in short, what is the English language?
Thank you so much for the question. I'm going to say that English language is, first of all, is a language which is designed to England people, because we need to know the origin of English.
Okay.
That comes from Indo and Germanic language, and across of time it's now became like international language and business one, because we can give it in other connotations.
Okay.
But if we try to be basic on origin, we are going to say is that comes from Indo and Germanic language.
Okay, thank you. You say that you are also an English teacher apart from being a student at the University of Kinshasa. What kind of English do you teach at schools?
Yes, so I just teach British English.
Okay.
Because in schools that's forbidden to teach American, because
Okay.
American is just based on phrase, that use slangs. But if it comes to teaching a perfect English, we need to teach British one, because British so open is going to help students or pupils to understand, to figure out where your lessons, normally about grammar, about vocabularies, about all things about English.
Okay, but what pronunciation do you use? Because your pronunciation and your intonation, your stress, I don't think they are British ones.
So just because I'm used to following more interviews about American people,
Okay.
that's why I can't using American English. But when I'm teaching, I prefer to teach British one, because according to national program, yes, it's that that enables to teach British English instead of American one.
Okay, as you have said about national program, so what program do you use at school?
So at school, I'm using what's national program.
You are
is.
using or you use, okay, habitual. So about what the government or the Ministry of Education just gave you to use, what program of English do you use?
Okay, so we need to know that, it's been 1 year that we renew the program.
Okay.
Yes, and now I'm using, I can say I use so English program, because that different than classes. There are some classes that you can teach some lessons which are not allowed to to be taught in other classes.
Okay.
And when I'm teaching in secondary school,
Okay.
yes, there I just teach grammar and vocabularies.
Okay.
But when when I'm attending high school, and over there I teach grammar, vocabularies, and sometimes I try to mix with conjugations,
Okay.
just to help students, because the language is based on conjugation too.
Okay.
Yes.
So do your students understand English?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They do, because that depends on strategies that we use, and when I'm teaching, I don't want to be kind. I don't want to be unkind every time.
Okay.
Sometimes I try to make them laughing,
Okay.
and I come back with the lessons, and that helps them to understand my lesson. And
Okay.
yes, of course, if I try to answer to your question, I'm going to say yes, they do, because they understand where the question which is given to them.
Okay, right. But now my question is, what language do you use to explain the English language to your pupils?
That's a
Because
good
you will
question.
not lie at us to say that you only use English. Yes, tell us the truth.
Thank you so much for the question.
Yes.
So, to help them understanding well the lesson,
Yes.
sometimes I use French.
Okay.
Yeah, I use French. That's not forbidden. And
Okay.
I use French sometimes, when the words are tricky or tough.
Okay.
Yeah, I use French for helping them to understand, but no more French. Because, in the lesson we can take, most of person must be in English, and some words you can combine with French to help them because that's not our mother tongue. Okay, we're just doing our best to learn that language, and if we are just based on English, they they won't learn that language perfectly. That's why I also chose French to make my lesson being understandable.
So for instance, what strategies do you use, okay, to help them understand well your class?
Thank you so much. About strategies,
Yes.
yes, sometimes we organize clubs in the
Okay,
schools because,
okay.
I would like also to talk to English teachers
Okay.
who are following me right now.
Okay.
If nowadays we can listen people saying, I get rid of these course, I don't want to study English.
Okay, they found it like
yeah,
a page 8.
Yeah, like a page
down
8,
down
like
to
a-
F, we can say black goats.
Yes, we can even see in some schools when an English teacher is coming, some pupils are sometimes, going
feel,
out,
yes.
and
They run
why?
away.
Yes, they run away. Why? Because it depends on strategies.
Yes.
They feel like this course is making us being so tired.
It's boring.
Yeah, yeah. And when I decided to attend education, I'm talking about pedagogic, and I've said that I have to try to change things. It
Okay.
means I'm going to organize some clubs during the week and go giving some pupils the opportunity to express
Okay.
their ideas, to speak, and that's so interesting because people are going to say I'm able to speak English, and why not? I can express my idea, and that's involved to student the way to speak, something like that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Alidor Likombe. Yes, we have another question. What materials or resources do you use to join just play business to pleasure, okay? To join theory to practice. Do you have materials at your school? What materials do you use just to combine theory to practice?
Sincerely, I'm going to say, so I lack of materials.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I hope that according to national program, that's not allowed to use materials. Sometimes you can use some books, you can use some books, you can sometimes print some papers and you share that to every student.
As teaching heads.
Yeah, you can share that like this, and every student is going to be focused on his papers while he's teaching. That's the same strategies that we are used to using, because I don't think we have to understand something. English is not among technical language. So technical lessons. That's a language lesson. But when you are teaching technical lessons, that case you can use materials.
Okay.
But when it comes to teaching French, our national languages, or English, you can just express them from books, and even using color charts, writing in the blackboards. They can see the difference between such word and another, just like.
But how do your students develop your listening skill?
Yes.
So while you don't use speakers, TV, okay, just only books, sheets, how will they improve their listening skill?
Okay, that's cool. In the beginning, it was tricky. That was difficult for them because I remember again when we started the class, the school here, that was very difficult for them to understand.
Okay.
But meanwhile, in the course of time, we're getting practice. So, when I'm teaching, I make them repeating words, twice by twice, because I think that when I write something in the blackboard and I ask them to repeat that, that's going to involve in them that skills of pronouncing words, Yes, that is a strategist. And
So
it
are
helps
you
them.
sure when you are speaking they also get you well?
So the majority don't get me well.
They
just
say,
the
teacher, your
minority.
English is tough.
Yeah, that's what they say. My English is tough, but there are some pupils
Okay.
who understand, even if it's not the majority. But that's the reality.
Okay.
But meanwhile, I hope that right now, as we are in the middle of the school year, there are almost of classroom or right now understand my way of teaching.
Okay, talking about hours or time, how much time or how many hours do you take per class?
Okay, so in secondary school, I don't take, but it's previewed.
Yes.
Okay, it's previewed 2 hours per week.
Okay.
Yeah, in high school is 4 hours per week compared to French lessons.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same. But we don't teach in primary.
Okay.
Because national program don't preview
But some
English.
schools just they have introduced that.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Okay.
right. But you know that depends on marketers
Yes.
of any school.
Okay,
Depends on
yes.
I mean,
Organization of,
yeah, adverse team.
yes.
Yeah, organization, because they just wanna pull up many customers. You know, many parents. When a parent is going to say that my child please is learning English in that school, in primary school,
Okay.
and it will be pushed to bring in other children. You know, that's why sometimes some schools include English in their primary school.
Thank you, teacher. Now, what are the problems that an English teacher often faces in teaching the English language at school?
Yes, so the primary
So
problem.
it happens, okay?
Yeah,
You are
yeah,
teaching,
you're right.
then you encounter or you have some problems in
Yeah.
teaching your class.
Yes.
Yes. What are they, those problems?
So the first problem is, we receive pupils who come from different cities.
Yes.
And those pupils are not accustomed with English. You know,
Okay.
when they get back their house, they just speak Lingala, and they got problem with language.
Yes.
And when
First,
they come,
you mean the English environment.
Yes,
It's
the
not
English
there. They don't
environment.
live in the English environment.
Yes,
Yes,
you're
that
right.
is
That's
the first problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the first problem. And the second one is, that is sacred. I'm
Oh
not
no,
going-
it is not the secret, okay? We are there to help them, okay?
Yes.
Yes, we have to crack those problems.
Yes.
Okay.
So the second problem can be about the fees. How
Okay.
much money are you paid? You
Okay.
know? And when you are teaching in some schools where you are not paid good, you wouldn't get that motivation to teach your student like it should be.
Okay.
You know. Yeah. I would like just to cite those two problems.
Okay.
Yes.
But another problem can also be the materials used.
Yes. So I mean, I forgot.
Remember, as you have said, you said about different cities.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
A pupil came from, let's say, countryside. Okay, from
Yes.
the countryside. Okay.
Yes.
He comes here. You are teaching English. You only speak. Okay. You
Yes.
talk about duster. Duster. He doesn't know the French meaning for duster. You also say duster means, for example, frottoir. Let's
Yes.
take the example, okay?
Yes.
But why don't you use the duster? It is also just a material.
Yes.
You can take it and show to him.
Yes,
Do you also
yes.
do that?
Yes, sometimes I do it. I mean, yes, I do it because, when perhaps you are teaching vocabulary lessons, they need to know what means, for instance, hello.
Yes.
This thing is called ruler. This
Okay.
thing, yeah, something like that. And even if we lack of materials, but we do our best, according to the preparation of the lessons, yes, to introduce some materials, some tools for helping pupils to understand the lesson.
Okay, thank you very much and coming just to respond to our invitation. Your English program is coming to an end, but before closing, we would like to give the last word to our